Throughout the course of NBA history, every little moment in a close game will change momentums and decide the outcomes. Some of the greatest moments simply alter the course of NBA history. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Today, we're gonna take a look at 12 most forgotten big NBA moments that were overshadowed by the bigger moments, which includes forgotten clutch shots and forgotten performances. Starting with the 1970 finals, games 3 and 7, the two memories from each team everybody remembers: Jerry West's shot over half court April 29th and Willis Reed's courageous moment letting everybody know he'll play in game 7 May 8th help ignite the Knicks to victory. What many forget, before West's jumper, Dave DeBusschere dreamed the clutch shot to put New York up 2 in the first place, a moment everybody forgotten. Before Will Chamberlain inbounded the ball to West, his right foot was still in bounds, should have been a violation, but impossible to tell at full speed, of course. Over a week later, Willis Reed went on to win Finals MVP despite scoring just 4 points in Game 7, hobbling. It was Walt Frazier who dominated the game, having one of the most complete performances: 36 points, 7 rebounds, 19 assists, the best player on the floor in the deciding game. Many believe he should have won Finals MVP. 1987 NBA Finals Game 4, June 9th. Everybody remembers Magic Jr.'s skyhook shot to give the Lakers a commanding 3-1 series lead. The Lakers were trailing most of the game, down 6 with under 2 minutes left. Before storming back, Magic drew a lob to Kareem perfectly to take the lead before Bird nailed the cold-blooded triple to put Boston on top. If the C's would have gotten one stop, Bird would have added another game-winning shot to his legacy, and the series could have gone 7 games. Afterwards, Boston fouled Kareem, who calmly sank the first free throw, missed the second one. The Celtics couldn't hold on to the rebound, a costly opportunity missed, giving LA another shot for Magic to capitalize one of the most iconic shots in NBA history. With 2 seconds left, many people also forget Bird had a golden opportunity to tie the series. The final shot bounced off the rim. Perhaps the Celtics not being able to rebound the missed free throw cost them the series. At the end of the rivalry, Magic had the title edge over Bird 5-3, the final series edge 2-1, and more remembered highly amongst the greatest of the greats. 1989 Eastern Conference Playoffs Round 1, Game 5, May 7, with Jordan's Bulls and the loaded 57-win Cavs in the 6 vs 3 matchup. Jordan was a man possessed that whole series, averaged almost 40, with nobody else on his team putting up over 15 a game. The Cavs were loaded with Ron Harper, Larry Nance, Mark Price, and Brad Daugherty. Both teams believed they had what it took, a rematch between divisional rivals. A weaker Bulls team from the season before traded away Charles Oakley for Bill Cartwright. With Cleveland in control for much of the game, Jordan single-handedly kept his team in it. Role player Craig Elo struggled all series, even fell out the league a couple years before, signed with the Cavs as a role player, was balling in the fourth quarter, 15 points the final period, down 1 off the inbounds play, the give and go finish, perfect execution set up by the legendary Lenny Wilkins. The crowd was going insane, with emotions running high. The Cavs needed one stop, and Elo will forever be cherished as a hero in Cavs history, but will be on the other side of history, a moment in NBA history that will always be remembered, known as the shot. Even 30 plus years later, this MJ's game winner continues to be shown everywhere. Sadly, Craig Elo was just another victim standing in the way of Michael Jordan's greatness. The clutchness of John Havlicek, who passed away in 2019 at age 79, one of the least talked about all-time greats in NBA history, a top 25 to 30 player all-time in my opinion, also one of the most durable and clutch players the game has ever seen. 2 moments I'll mention, both in the finals, 1974 and 1976. The one thing that comes to mind for most people about the 74 finals, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's game-winning skyhook shot in Game 6, forcing a Game 7, winning in Boston Garden. But before that possession, Havlicek was playing out of his mind, drained the clutch baseline jumper to put his team up 1 with 7 seconds left. A high arcer finished the game, scoring 36 in double overtime. Kareem, Oscar Robertson, and Havlicek all played 58 minutes each, never sat out. Boston ended up winning Game 7 by 15. Havlicek Finals MVP averaged 26.4 points, but if Jabbar missed the skyhook, Hondo shot would have been remembered. 2 years later in the finals, June 4th, 1976, Game 5, many say it was the best game in NBA history, a triple overtime driller. Both teams refused to lose. I can talk about this game forever, but in the second OT, Phoenix down 3, 2-possession game. Since the 3-point line wasn't in the NBA yet, Dick Van Arsdale drained the jumper, down 1, Paul Westphal stole the inbounds pass, saved it. Curtis Perry had a good look, missed it. Second opportunity, nothing but bottom for Perry, giving Phoenix a 110-109 lead With all the eyes on the Celtics, Havlicek delivered once again. Looked like a walk-off game winner off the glass. The fans immediately stormed the court. Everybody was celebrating. The team ran to the locker room. Referee Richie Powers got into a fight with a fan on the court. Everybody was so hyped they couldn't hear the whistle. With Phoenix not having any timeouts, they knew they didn't have much of a chance to inbound full court. With over a second left, called a timeout, a technical foul, putting Boston up 2. Phoenix later inbounded the ball half court with a second left. Garfield Hurst turned around shot at the buzzer to force a dirt overtime.
Won't start until it's clutch. They'll have to throw it up. Garhurt, turnaround shot in the air. It's good. It's tied again. I don't believe it.
Unbelievable game. Boston eventually won 128-126. The game will forever be remembered for her shot and how the timeout gave Phoenix hope. 2 times John Havlicek's clutch shots were overshadowed by bigger moments. May 29th, 1995, Eastern Conference Finals, Magic Pacers, Game 4, remember as the Rick Smith's game winner, 4 lead changes in the final 15 seconds, Magic down 2, Brian Shaw drained a 3, gave Orlando a 1-point lead, followed by Mark Jackson finding Reggie Miller for the 3 with 5.2 ticks left. Next possession, the ball into the hands of Penny Hardaway, a cold-blooded 3, if that didn't go in, Reggie would have added another memorable clutch moment in his career, 1.3 seconds enough for Rick Smith to force Tree Rollins off his feet, pull up from mid-range. As pure a jumper there was, a furious ending to an incredible game. Orlando would eventually win the series in 7, one of the most entertaining last 15 seconds to a basketball game you'll ever see. May 13, 2004, moments before Derek Fisher's .4 shot, the last 5 NBA champions in a must-watch semifinal series between the Lakers and Spurs. In a low-scoring affair, Fisher's insane buzzer beater, an iconic shot, gave the Lakers a 3-2 series lead.
They get it to Fisher. He scores! Derek Fisher scores at the buzzer!
An absolute stunner. Another reason why the series happened in the second round, Kobe's clutch shooting. In the regular season, they were actually on pace to be the 4th seed, drain an impossible game-tying jumper in regulation, followed by a walk-off game winner in the final game of the regular season, gave the Lakers the Pacific Division title and the 3 seed. Down 1, it was Kobe again who knocked down a clutch jumper with under 12 seconds left, giving his team a 72-71 lead. After the Lakers committed a foul to give, Tim Duncan hit an insane fadeaway over the outstretched arms of Shaquille O'Neal.
To Duncan. He gets doubled. Shaq all over him. He gets away a fadeaway. He makes it with 4/10 left.
With all the pressure in the world against perfect defense, off the wrong leg, Duncan's shot would have been remembered as one of the most insane clutch shots ever. If there was no time on the clock, San Antonio might have won the series and perhaps the 0-4 title. Another forgotten moment, right before the half, Fisher missed a wide open layup, which led the Lakers to blowing a huge lead. That would have been a nightmare. After multiple timeouts, before the last possession, while Kobe was getting doubled, Payton had to get the ball out of his hand. Fisher caught it, released it, all net, a shot that's still talked about to this very day. The forgotten moments in Blazers history before Damian Lillard's insane walk-off game winner in Game 6, May 2nd, 2014, first round series against the Rockets. With the game tied at 96, Houston needed a bucket to keep their series hopes alive. After James Harden's missed jumper, Robin Lopez tipped the ball into the hands of Chandler Parsons. With 0.9 seconds left, laid it in. Afterwards, Dame Dollar sent the Rockets packing home, drained the cold-blooded bomb on Chandler Parsons, giving Portland's first playoff series win in 14 years. Before the greatness of Lillard, Brandon Roy was supposed to be the next great Blazer. Before his injuries that cut his career short, rewind back to November 6, 2008, it was also tied at 96 with 10 seconds left. Roy drained a clutch turnaround jumper with under 2 seconds left. Following possession, Yao Ming nailed the turnaround jumper plus the foul, which saved time for one final possession. After Yao's free throws to put Houston on top, Roy caught the ball nearly at the same exact spot as Lillard, the same exact way the ball went in, nothing but net. One of the most incredible game-winning shots you'll see, a flashback to how great Brandon Roy was. June 18, 2013, Game 6 of the NBA Finals, highlighted by Ray Allen's incredible game-tying 3 that sent the game to overtime, followed by Chris Bosh's block on Danny Green to seal it in OT. The craziest game of the 2010s decade. Many forget Tim Duncan was absolutely going off in the first half, scored 25 of his 30 points on 11 of 13 shooting the first 24 minutes. Looking to win his 4th Finals MVP, San Antonio was up 10 going into the 4th, followed by a furious Miami rally. Spurs down rebound 3, 90 seconds left. Tony Parker came alive, drained a step back 3 to tie, later stole the ball from Chalmers and scored on Chalmers at the other end. Spurs up 2, back-to-back nightmare possessions for LeBron, lost the ball, next Heat possession, James drew it away again, an absolute stunner. Spurs up 4, Ginobili missed the first free throw, was absolutely terrible in the series, averaged just 11.6 points, had 8 whooping turnovers in game 6 after LeBron's brick 3. 3 Spurs were there for the rebound, ball got deflected away, picked up by Mike Miller, which would have been the ball game. James mixed the second 3, Heat down 2, Kawhi Leonard misses the first free throw, still a 1 possession game, giving Miami one last chance. Another thing that barely gets talked about, Pop might be the greatest NBA coach ever, but why in the world did he not put Tim Duncan in the game on defense in back-to-back possessions, which led Miami with offensive rebounds? After LeBron's missed 3, Bosh was right there, leading to the Ray Allen moment. Even after the shot, referee Joey Crawford stepped in and grabbed the ball before San Antonio even had a chance to inbound it to fully make sure it was a 3. Pop was furious his team wasn't allowed to play on and rush up the court. After the review, Pop was able to put Duncan in. Tony Parker went full speed, forced up an off-balance shot right beforehand. With a couple seconds left in the game, Tim Duncan waved his hand, appearing he wanted the ball, sprinting up the floor, was wide open. Perhaps he could have gotten off a catch-and-shoot shot to win it. A devastating loss for San Antonio, a wasted classic performance for the 37-year-old Duncan. Miami would go on to win Game 7. San Antonio got their revenge the following year. All the sequences leading to Ray Allen's shot, the game was absolute insanity. During Nowitzki's final NBA home game, April 9, 2019, filled with an emotional farewell, Dirk teared up before the game, announcing it was his final game in Dallas. Went bananas, showing us one last vintage Dirk performance. Everybody was on their feet. With the game being a blowout by halftime, the most forgotten thing about the game, 39-year-old Jamal Crawford answered with 51 total points, became the oldest player in NBA history to drop 50 plus. A record previously held by Michael Jordan. An absolute travesty Jamal Crawford still hasn't been signed, and looking like that can very well be his last NBA game. Shot an efficient 18 of 30 from the field off the bench, also becoming the first player to drop 50 plus for 4 different teams, his first 50 plus point game in 11 years, first time he reached 30 plus points in over 3 years. His performance didn't creep up till the end of the night since Phoenix was getting blown out. It was also D Wade's Miami farewell home game, while Magic Johnson stole all the headlines by announcing his departure with the Lakers front office. April 15, 2018 playoffs, game 1 of the first round between the Bucks and Celtics. Everybody remembers Chris Middleton's insane game-tying 3 on a catch-and-shoot, sending the game to OT. Boston eventually won. The last 3 possessions of regulation was insane. One of the most underrated shots, Terry Rozier's mean step back, took Eric Bledsoe out the frame, made him look like he was begging for help, putting Boston up 3 with half a second left. If Scary Terry would have waited half a second, Rozier's shot would have been a buzzer beater, outscoring Bledsoe 23-12 in game 1. Called him Drew Bledsoe afterwards in the postgame, which sparked some beef between each other. Before Rozier's shot, Malcolm Brogdon drained a 3 to tie the game with 12 seconds left. Nonetheless, Rozier outplayed Bledsoe in the series, averaged 17.6 points to Bledsoe's 13.6 points. May 31st, Game 1 of the 2018 Finals. Who can forget about LeBron's epic Game 1 performance? Forever known as the J.R. Smith travesty game. Everything that happened before that sequence seemed like a blur, overshadowing one of the greatest all-time performances, with LeBron dropping a playoff career high 51 points. Golden State was up 6 with under 4 minutes left. James refused to go down, scored 2 straight baskets at the rim, down 1, blew by Curry, followed by an and-1 layup with under a minute left. On defense, LeBron appeared to have position as Durant barreled into the lane, which was originally called an offensive foul with 36 ticks left. With the review taking forever, the refs decided it was a block instead of a charge on James. The NBA later put out a statement, a tough call and game changer. Durant would hit both free throws to tie it. LeBron later responded once again by taking the ball to the basket, an easy 2 to put his team up 2. Steph Curry responded with an and 1, completing the 3-point play. Down 1, LeBron decided to pass to George Hill, who missed the second free throw, leading to the J.R. Smith disaster, dribbling out the clock without any awareness. LeBron was beyond furious. Cleveland got smoked in overtime, the only game they had any chances at winning in those finals. The story of LeBron's lack of supporting cast in the 2018 season. Barely anybody talks about the critical moments of the officiating or George Hill's missed free throw. The countless JR memes will always forever cross the internet. Honorable mentions includes Kyle Lowry's game-tying 3 in the 2016 playoffs Game 1 against Miami, an insane shot nobody talks about, sent the game to overtime since Miami ended up winning that game. The Raptors won the series, where the Chauncey Billups half-court shot against the Nets in 2004 in Game 5 still gets mentioned a lot. Draymond Green's forgotten Game 7 performance in the 2016 finals, 32 points, 15 rebounds, 9 assists, went 6 of 8 from 3, 11 of 15 from the field, would have likely won Finals MVP, putting up an all-time performance if Golden State would have won Game 7, overshadowed by LeBron's block and Kyrie's shot, Kevin Durant's unreal 4-point play in the 2014 playoffs, Game 2 semis against Memphis. The game went to overtime. Memphis won that game, but OKC won the series. Who can forget Dirk Nowitzki's Game 5 clutch fading jumper in the 2006 finals against Miami with 9 ticks left, gave the Mavs a 1-point lead before D-Wade hit the go-ahead free throws. Jason Richardson's game-tying 3, Game 5 2010 Western Conference Finals before Ron Artest's putback game winner. Hedo Turkoglu's jumper with a second left, Game 2 2009 Eastern Conference Finals before LeBron's game-winning 3. James avoided a Magic sweep, and Michael Jordan's near game winner in his final All-Star game in 03, an incredible fadeaway shot on Shawn Marion. With 4 and 8/10 left, Jermaine O'Neal fouled Kobe on a 3-point attempt. Bryant hit 2 of 3 free throws to force double overtime. The West won 155-145. KG All-Star Game MVP, one of Jordan's most forgotten moments of his career. Of course, I'll end my video in honor of Kobe Bryant's last game with the night Golden State was on pace to set the single season record against the Memphis Grizzlies, scheduled on ESPN April 13, 2016. The day we will all remember for Kobe's farewell game, which was going on at the same time Golden State was about to do something no other franchise has accomplished in getting 73 wins, while the 37-year-old legend had one of the worst rosters all time. Going up against the Utah Jazz, the Kobe game was moved to ESPN 2 instead of ESPN, the biggest night in regular season history. In fact, the Lakers Twitter page crashed because Kobe got too hot for the Twitter servers. I watched 0 minutes of the Golden State game and couldn't care less. A signature game for Steph Curry, a punctuating statement for his unanimous MVP year. Nobody remembers Curry dropped a whopping 46 points, connected on 10 3-pointers. In respect to his greatness, the night was all about Kobe, who was mesmerizing. In remembering his legacy, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you, Kobe, for all the great memories. May you and Gigi and the 7 other victims rest in peace. We will all continue to pray for Vanessa and all the families who's lost their loved ones in the devastating tragedy. Kobe, we miss you. Your legacy will always live on.